Fury versus Usyk is about a month away, and we've got another press conference to hype the fight up. Bearing in mind, this is the third time they've made this fight, and we've already seen press conferences, but this one's got a twist to it. This time, it's just Fury. There is no Usyk. I don't get it either. It's not a big press conference in London. It's just Fury and Morecambe, and they've just put a board up behind him with a microphone in front of him. I don't know why. Let's see what he says.
I know all boxers say the same old shit, like I've had a fantastic training camp, yada, 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 but I actually am having a fantastic training camp. And
well, how fucking long has it lasted, mate? You've been training non-stop for this since you turned up against Ngannou looking like a sack of shit. This cut actually seems to have been the best thing for him in the long term because he was so out of shape against Ngannou. He had so much ground to make up. He doesn't look like a heavyweight fighter training for a boxing match. He looks like a before and after at a fucking Weight Watchers advert. Credit to him, he's lost all this weight. You're not supposed to have to do that. But it has been a few years since we've seen him looking this good, and I'm glad for that because for this fight, I want Tyson Fury at his absolute best to give us the best fight possible, but also because I don't want any excuses. And if you know you've got a fight coming up in however long, there should be no excuses, but there usually is.
Got me dad in camp this time, so got my secret weapon over there as well.
I wonder how that's going to work because Big John's not been like the boxing trainer of Tyson. In fact, he's pretty much insulted every boxing coach he's had as if to say, well, I know better and it should be me, including Sugar Hill, because Sugar Hill contradicted something Tyson said when he said I was training for the Usyk fight with Sugar Hill, and Sugar Hill was over in the UK being like, not at all. So he'd basically called Fury out unintentionally for lying, saying that he was preparing to fight Usyk when he never was. And Big John, instead of not understanding that this guy isn't up to date on the lies we're telling now, got annoyed at him for dropping him in it. So them two in a room together is interesting. But I do think Big John could be a motivating character in camp. You just wonder, given the fact that he's coached Tommy Fury, and I'll be honest, he struggled against KSI. So it doesn't fill me with confidence that you can go from your last coaching job of struggling to defeat KSI to now you're helping coach your son to fight the pound for pound best fighter in the world, arguably, when KSI didn't go so well. But to be fair, he was working with Tommy, so maybe this will work better.
It was heartbreak when the fight was postponed initially. How long did it take you to get over that and get going again?
At first, I was a little bit depressed for the first day or so, but afterwards, like all things in life, I realised God's timing is impeccable, perfect.
That cut was God's plan. I do look forward to the next Drake music video where he's going around just giving people cuts. God's plan. I don't get it, right? But fair play. If this is God's plan, maybe it is. Maybe it's bought him the time he needed to actually get in shape to beat this guy.
So it wasn't my time to fight for the championship then, but it is going to be my time on May the 18th, so I'm really preparing fantastic for it.
What I've got to say is the look of the jaw of Tyson Fury, the lack of flab on him. He does look like he's taking this seriously, and he's speaking very clearly, very confidently, very focused. He's the opposite of Conor McGregor right now, and it is making me believe more that his chances have increased. I've got to say, that kind of curiosity, who designed that? God almighty, Microsoft Paint, you could have done a better job with the logo.
And you know what, Frank, yeah? I read a lot of comments, people saying, oh, there's 4 belts. Let's just get this one clear right now. There's a lot more than 4 belts on the line. You got IBO, IBF, WBO, WBA, WBC, Ring Magazine and Lineal. So for all you motherfuckers out there thought it was 4, correction, it's 7.
You're wrong.
No, I'm not.
I missed the side of Tyson. He actually is being funny there, fuck me. Unintentionally still, but still funny.
Oh, the Riyadh season belt. Yeah, you've corrected. I stand corrected.
I was 1.
8.
Right.
So it's 8 belts in one fight. That's got to be a record.
Yeah.
It's fucking ridiculous is what it is, but yeah.
I don't think you're ever going to get a foreigner sitting up here with me. You get any American, any British fight I've ever fought in nearly 20 years as boxing. No one has ever competed with me, unspeaking.
I do remember one man once telling you boxing rules protect you, and that if it wasn't for those rules, remember? Don't forget Francis. I know he got chinned by AJ, but we can't forget that this man eviscerated Tyson Fury on the microphone. He told him, and I tell you what, no matter what happens, Fury should want that rematch. He should want to stop Francis and put that right, because even still, that's a massive mark on his boxing record. A day one boxer put you down and took you to the scorecards and even beat you on one of the judges' scorecards. So even after fucking Usyk and AJ, that's still an outlier.
If you don't talk smack in this game, you ain't gonna make it.
He's fucking bang on there. If there's anything young boxers out there should be listening to, it's that. If you don't talk shit, you can forget it, because no one will give a shit. If you don't care, why should we?
There's a heavyweight in here, yeah, who's on his rise, and my advice to him is talk tons of smack the whole way.
Damn right.
But as for like, I've seen some stuff in the media like this is really personal between me and Alexander Usyk. This is not. It's not personal. It's strictly business for both fighters.
It's not even close to being personal, this is about elite level skills. Now, if they make the AJ Fury fight, that could get a bit personal because their rivalry runs deep.
I'm very confident in my ability and I'm very confident that I'll beat the guy. But that's not to say he's shit just because he loses to me. Like, you know, everybody I ever beat before, even long-reigning lineal champions like Vladimir Klitschko, after I beat him, everyone said, oh, he's a piece of shit, him.
No one said that. No one said that. I've never heard anyone say Klitschko's shite. I've never heard that in my life. Like, I listen to boxing fans all the time. It's funny the way he's talking as if he's already beaten Usyk in his mind. He's like, well, when I beat him, I don't want people calling him shit. There's only one person been calling Usyk shit, bro. And that's you. When you call him a little rabbit and a middleweight and, oh, I'll do him in 7 rounds. You're the one calling him shit. But the contradictions of Fury are legendary, so I'm going to let him go.
When the cruiserweights step up to the big boys, usually they get found wanting. And even the greatest cruiserweights that's ever lived, Evander Holyfield, when he stepped up to the big boys and beat Daddy Bo Lennox Lewis, he was found wanting.
He wasn't always found wanting, though. He was able to win the titles. He was able to beat heavyweights. And I don't know if he was as good as Usyk. And I don't know if you are as good as Lennox Lewis. So the logic, while I understand it, it's not bulletproof. They're saying Holyfield Lewis. In my opinion, Lewis is better than Fury and Usyk is better than Holyfield. So it's not that simple.
You can beat the average big ones, but you can't beat the elite big ones because size really matters.
The question is, are we in an era of really great big ones? Because he's already beaten one of the best big ones in Anthony Joshua, and he did it back to back. Swept it. 9-3, 9-3 in the rounds, both times. So he's already proven that he can handle size. So to say that he can't hang with the big men is just bollocks. Like, he might not be Fury. That could happen, but he can definitely hang with the big men.
Even if you look at David Haye, he was an explosive, good cruiserweight and good heavyweight. And when he fought average heavyweights, he could beat them. But when he stepped up to the big boy in Klitschko, it wasn't really a contest.
You can't compare David Haye to Usyk. It's just not even close. I'm understanding his point. Weight classes matter. Yeah, they do. But there are some fighters who are truly, truly special. Generational talents who can go between weight classes. And Usyk is one of them.
Who was the other one? Sultan Ibragimov. He was Olympic silver medalist. He was 20-0.
You know what this is? This is for his benefit, in my opinion. Confidence-wise. He's pulling from data and going, what can make me feel more confident? Let's look at all of these cruiserweights and when they've eventually been beaten at heavyweight. Potentially, yeah. But the fact that he's really going into this right now, I feel like it's showing him searching for confidence from other places instead of within himself. And maybe I'm reading too much into it, but that don't prove nothing, mate. Because there's only one Tyson Fury, as you've been telling us for a long time, but there's also only one Usyk. And you're a unique individuals. And to say that it's going to be exactly the same as these fighters from 25 years ago, nah, I don't believe so. Lewis and Holyfield, completely different fighters to these two.
These are facts. And if anybody wants to go check my boxing history, go do it. I've studied this game all my life, and you cannot prove it wrong. This is my time, my destiny, my era, and my generation. Facts.
I like that, though. I like the way he's talking. Much as I give Fury shit, I want to see him at his best in this fight, and I want to find out who the fucking best is. If he wins, all the fucking bullshit aside, I'll absolutely say fair play, like, because beating Usyk means something, and I like the confidence. He was uncomfortable there. There's an old classic thing of body language where you rub your knees, you rub yourself after. That's a self-soothing thing that you do when you're feeling awkward. And look, he's hyping himself up even now, so he probably is feeling a bit awkward. But equally, some people have said that it's a sign that you don't really believe what you're saying. Now, I'm not saying that. I'm not a body language expert, but I'm just presenting you with the information.
Usyk, like Tyson said, is a great champion. He's able to outthink these guys, whereas they may come in and think one or two things. He's thinking 3 and 4.
Usyk's brain is like a boxing computer compared to Ngannou. So if you struggle with Ngannou just for raw athleticism, you better bring your fucking A game for Usyk.
Tyson is the same way. Tyson's thinking 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
I disagree. I think years ago when Tyson was a mover and he was light on his feet and he fought Klitschko and he was twitching and fainting, giving him, a lot of different problems and a lot of things to worry about, yeah, he was thinking a few steps ahead of people. Now he's slowed right down and he's a fairly straightforward fighter. If he can't get you on the outside, he's going to try and rough you up on the inside on the clinch. If he can't do that, then he's fucked. And that's where the problems were with Ngannou. Couldn't clinch with him, and for whatever reason, he didn't have as much success on the back foot as he normally does. And I think part of that's down to the question of, have Fury's legs gone? And the reality is, because he was in such bad shape, we just don't know. Maybe he's now lost all the weight and he's going to be lighter on his feet again, and we'll see the version that we've seen against Wilder in the second fight. But if we don't, and his legs have really slowed down, there is not a worse matchup in boxing than Alexander Usyk. His feet are fantastic.
Everybody who was supposed to be a non-puncher in my career has given me trouble. And everybody who was supposed to be a dynamite puncher have been all right against.
I mean, that's bollocks. Wilder put him down plenty of times. Don't get me wrong, he won, but I wouldn't say that was plain sailing. Francis Ngannou, big puncher, put you down, gave you lots of problems. But I do see the point that Fury's making of Usyk could potentially catch him off guard, because with Fury, his chin isn't bulletproof. It's recovery powers that are special. He can get put down plenty of times in his career, but it's how quickly he recovers, how quickly he comes back into the fight. That's the impressive bit. But against a Wilder or an Ngannou who can detonate on you, they take time to recover as well. They can't just keep punching you constantly. So with Wilder, we've seen how much he gassed in those fights. What is going to happen when Usyk, who has better accuracy, quicker feet, quicker hands, and can land on you more consecutively on the chin, and doesn't need to rest and recover for so many rounds the way these guys do? And yeah, your recovery powers might get you back up, but this man's delivery system is far superior than Wilder and Ngannou. So although he hasn't got the power of them, he might actually be able to hurt you more and consistently hurt you more. In the way that we've seen against Anthony Joshua at the end of the first fight, it wasn't like he caught AJ with a massive punch, but AJ looked ready to go because he was just getting tagged. That could be a huge problem for Fury. And although Fury's gone through this body transformation, he's lost all this weight, I think we can all agree AJ stays in shape and still struggled with him. AJ hits harder, still struggled with him.
And he is a bit of a crybaby when it comes to getting caught to the body. Cries to the referee a lot, and for me that always was, if you want to use the phrase, an Achilles heel or an Achilles body.
I understand the point Frank's making. Yeah, Usyk has shown slight weaknesses to the body. To me, the Dubois one was a low blow, but in the past, in his amateur days, apparently I've seen a little bit of footage of him sort of using the referee, highlighting things to avoid the body shots. But in reality, Fury being the taller guy, he's not known for landing the most devastating body shots. Usyk being the shorter guy, it's going to be hard to actually enforce that in a game plan for him. Now, I'm not saying Fury can't land a body shot, but I've never heard anyone go, Fury's body shots, mind you, something special there. It's not his thing.
I think if I didn't train at all for this camp, I just come in at like 25 stone and sank maybe 15 pints of Peroni beforehand, and then the next day, going there, what's he going to do? Jib and jab me around?
He says that, yet he's gone through a full-scale body transformation. You can see after the Ngannou fight, he's had the shits put right up him. I've never seen him more dedicated. So your words and your actions completely do not align here. Fury against Ngannou, thought he was an MMA fighter. No need to really train that hard for him, so you can see why he turned up like that. Chisora, he fought him multiple times, knew he could beat him easily, so he wasn't in great shape. Dillian White, he sparred him plenty of times, knew he could beat him. And the fight before that was Deontay Wilder, who he'd already beaten twice. This is the first time where we've really seen Fury looking in razor-sharp shape in 4 fights, and you're telling me it's because you just think you could just walk in there after putting on 25 stone and fucking turning up after 15 pints. It's bollocks. I like the chart. It is bollocks though. And now, a word from our sponsors. So a lot of you know I love a game of poker, love the casinos, and I've now found my favourite new game online, which is BetKit. There's lots of different games you can play on the site. One of the games I love, obviously, is roulette. You can pick any table you want. I chose this one. I don't know why, I just felt lucky. My bet is 11, 10, 13 black, and 14 red. Come on. Oh, fucker. Do you know what? This one feels possible for me. 26 black, 29 black, 28 black, 25 red. Yes! Get in! Come on! Now, this game, you basically have to open different boxes and hope to avoid the mines, you know? So you get a good box. Fingers crossed this is a good box. Bad box, angry face. So we have to see how many times I can open the smiley faces and every time win a little bit more money. Oh, you bastard! So this next one I like playing on is an aeroplane game where you place a bet at the start, and as the aeroplane goes, you've got to cash out before the aeroplane explodes. Can we get the... Ah, fuck. This one's really hard. You can also see where everyone else is dropping out. So I'll drop it here. And 3 times? 3 times? Can we make it? 3. Yep, get out. Perfect. That is how you play. So as you can tell, I love a bit of betking, and a lot of you will too, but obviously always only deposit what you can afford to lose. It's just a bit of fun, and make sure it stays that way. And when you do deposit, they will give you 150% welcome bonus to whatever your deposit was. So make sure you're over 18, gamble responsibly, and if you want to check it out, click the link in the description below. And if you are a UK user, you might need a VPN for now, but they are dropping their UK site extremely soon. So thanks to Betkin. I'm sure a lot of you will enjoy the games, but for now, enjoy the video.
Nothing away with him, but he couldn't do anything with Derek Chisora. We all saw that fight, and let's not be eluded with him.
He literally beat Derek Chisora easily.
And the other thing is, you saying 15 Peronis.
You all sound like you've been drinking 15 Peronis before this, mate. You're chatting shit.
Tyson, I was watching an interview with Alexander Usyk the other day, and he said that Vladimir Klitschko has reached out and given him some advice, but
that'd be anti-advice, how to lose to the Gypsy King. How can Vlad, my old pal Vlad, give anybody any advice? Because he would have used it himself only if he had any advice.
Maybe if you'd rematched him, you would have found out, but unfortunately, he decided to put 10 stone on and never get back in the ring with him when he deserved a rematch. This is one of the fights that built the Fury legacy, and he was supposed to give him a rematch. And with Fury, that herky-jerky style, the more time you're in there with him, the better the chance you've got to figure him out. He was starting to get to him at the end. Nah, I think I'll leave it at that. We'll not be doing a rematch. Ironically, it's the same reason why Fury was able to outclass Wilder the way he did in the second fight, because he'd figured him out by that time completely. But you didn't give Klitschko the same thing Wilder gave you.
You've mentioned these people in boxing who maybe criticised you after the Ngannou fight. Use that as a little bit of fuel. Was that something that you needed just to add a little bit of spice to this and that training camp? Where you
not really, because Van Gogh probably had his haters, but I don't know who they were.
Back in the day, I would have definitely been making reaction videos to Van Gogh's latest work. I would have been slagging him right off. You call that a painting? I've seen kids do better with crayons than this shite. Did Van Gogh have his haters? Good question, Tyson Fury.
Somebody else is not relevant, and no one will remember their name.
I think I'll be remembered, to be honest with you. Especially when every time someone searches Tyson Fury, one of my videos is going to be quite high up in the YouTube search bar. I will be remembered.
People are going to talk about successful people. And no matter who they are, what success game they're in, what business they're in, then they're always going to have people who, if they're important, if they're worth talking about, there's going to be good and bad comments.
He's actually bang on there. This is the bit I actually like. Why can't you just laugh it off then?
It's obviously not in a position where people want to talk about him. So I think it's fantastic.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Pleasure.
Productive criticism is an amazing thing.
If you'd only listen, you know what I mean? I could help you. Bring me in camp, I'll tell you where you're going wrong. For a start, your leg press is shite, mate. Them chicken legs are never going to grow at this rate. Next time, full range of motion, yeah? Full range of motion. But we'll talk later.
A man who can take everything, give it, take it, whatever. It's good.
Do you know, if there's one thing we could say about Tyson Fury, he really just takes criticism so well. I literally just mentioned the fact that maybe you want to take a harder fight than a guy who you fought twice already and beat the shit out of. He just lost his whole mind with me. This guy's hilarious.
Like with me dad now, we're all on the same page, thank God. So it's better for me. Everyone, I just, as a man and as a professional sportsman, I just want a little bit of plain sense.
He wants harmony, to be fair. And I agree, actually. Having his dad in camp and everyone getting along well can only benefit him. Positive vibes, do you know what I mean? So hopefully this actually brings the best out in him. And one thing I will say is, everyone doubting him after the Ngannou fight, I actually think is the best thing for his performance in this fight. I do think we'll get the best possible version of Fury in this one. It's just whether or not that's good enough after the years of him not training to 100%.
Do you feel the gravity of this event ever? Or is it, for you, is it just another box? Because you can say easily, right, it's just another fight, but this holds a bit of weight. This is gravity. This is history making. And do you feel that in camp?
No. I just see him as boxing fights.
I think he's lying there. And I don't say that to have a go at the guy. I think for him, he wants to treat it like any other fight because you don't want the pressure to overwhelm you. But the reality is, we've never seen him look like this in a long time, in this kind of shape. He's clearly very aware of the pressure. I think his sparring was so rough and causing that cut because he was pushing it as hard as he could, because he knows I need to be absolutely 110% for this. That's why the cut happened. He couldn't keep control, and you lose control when you're feeling the weight of the world. Let's see what Big John's got to say.
His Excellency said to me, I'm shocked Mike Tyson didn't want to fight you. I'm shocked myself.
He's claiming Mike Tyson's bottled it against Big John. Mike Tyson with all due respect, John, he's only going to do things for the biggest possible paydays and for people who are really worth being in the ring with. And the reason he's using Jake Paul is because Jake Paul is a young guy in the prime of his life who really should beat him because of the age gap. Tyson's chasing bigger name, bigger money, bigger challenges. Big John Fury's a nobody to Mike Tyson. It's a joke to him, if anything. Bloody hell, let's keep it in the real world, mate. Fuck me. You literally had Joe Egan call you out for misfits. That was a fight that you could have made. Didn't want to know about it.
Must have a presence. The Gypsy King mustn't admit Gypsy King's dad.
He just said, I'm the Gypsy King. I must have a presence. And he said, Gypsy King's dad. He thinks he is the Gypsy King. Mike Tyson literally was a heavyweight world champion, a legend of the sport.
He's fighting the middleweight instead of me.
As if Jake Paul's the easier fight.
Paul and Tyson. So that's what I'm saying. I'll fight anybody.
Joe Egan literally called you out. They put the money on the table. You didn't want to know.
Get me paid. But pay me what I'm worth.
What are you worth? You've never drawn a dime in your damn life. You've never sold a ticket for a boxing match in your life. He thinks he's going to do 80,000 at fucking Wembley, for Christ's sakes. You're literally known for being a bloke's dad.
You can get killed, can't you? But listen, I'm willing to risk my life for the right fight, you know what I'm saying? And the right fight is him, Mike Tyson.
It would be a fucking life risk. You'd be lucky to survive it. That's for damn sure. I like John, don't get me wrong. He's like, I do enjoy him and I love the delusion. But sometimes delusion is scary. And this is one of those times.
What I do want is my son to keep winning. And when I see a decline... And healthy. So when I see a decline, he's got 8 children, will have soon. Yeah. He's got to think about them as well.
I do think John's right there, and his heart's in the right place. That, like, all right, there's been a decline here for the Ngannou fight. I think bringing him in is a way of kind of keeping the situation under control, because when John's off doing these interviews saying he's not fucking happy, it's deharmonizing the training camp. So I think that is probably one of the reasons they brought him in. So Usyk wasn't at the press conference, but we've got a little interview here with him on a video call.
Not behavior, you know. Maybe it's some UFC guy, blah blah blah. I win. It's easy fight, blah blah blah. It's my opinion. I don't know. Maybe it's true, maybe not. But I know that Tyson Fury will be different with me.
So he's saying Francis Ngannou, that fight, Fury took him lightly, disrespected him, but with Usyk, he's going to be different. Completely agree. I think that's obvious. You can see it written all over him right now.
For me, doesn't matter who think for me. Oh, Usyk have bad style, maybe good. Doesn't matter. I like my style. It's great style.
Bless him. It's obviously not his first language. He's doing his best here, and he's showing confidence. That's what we always see from him, but it is never brash, cocky. It's the same old Usyk, and that's what I want to see from him, because unlike Fury, there is not a demand for Usyk to overperform after his last fight. We just need Usyk to be Usyk, and we know that he's got a great chance of winning.
Listen, my strategy is win.
He's a funny bastard.
Do you see the cut as a weakness? Can you answer that?
I don't know.
This guy. It is interesting to know if he is going to go out there and try and target the cut. I do think that that's going to be very, very difficult. Fury's a very big man, and you can't always pinpoint where a punch is going to go. You're looking at the head, you're trying to punch through the target, and to expect them to be able to pinpoint right on the eyebrow, I don't think that that's possible. But if anyone can do something like that, maybe it is Usyk, because he is highly accurate and he has a high volume.
And to Joshua, he famously lost his composure on the microphone after you fought him, defeated him. He recently said to the BBC, look, I'm not perfect and it's not the right thing to have done. I didn't speak to Usyk, but I spoke to Vladimir Klitschko and said, give Usyk a pat on the shoulder and tell him, well done, and I apologise. That's man to man.
I fucking love AJ in that. You can't hate the guy. He's such a gentleman. Although he lost his shit that night when he lost, that was his life's work, right? It's a lot to lose. And I don't think he did it in a nasty way. He just felt emotional and was struggling in the moment. So fair play to him for saying that about Usyk.
Because I respect this man. He's a great man. He's a great boxer. He's a great person. He's Olympic champion, 2 times world champion. But I think it's emotion.
Fair play to Usyk for accepting the apology. He's a great bloke, and despite what I think about Tyson Fury as a person, I'm glad to see him taking this fight extra serious. He looks sharp. He looks as fit as he's been in a long time. And Usyk is just Usyk. He's the same old guy. I think we're in for a hell of a fight here. Let me know if you have early predictions in the comments below. I will come back and do more coverage on this fight, on the runner, predictions, all of that. So let us know if there's anything in particular you want me to put out about the fight. But for now, hit that like button. Stay subscribed to the Pain Game YouTube channel. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one.